Inside Bobcat Football is sponsored by HEB, Bud Light, and Central Texas Medical Center.
Down the sideline, inside the 40. They will not catch him today. This week in Inside Bobcat Football, the Cats are back from their historic trip to Navy, and we have all the highlights. Plus, we'll break down the Texas State offensive line, and we'll guide you through the tunnel at Bobcat Stadium. But first, here's Bill, Bobcat head coach, DennisFranchione.
Hello, Coach Fran. Welcome home. Here we are in the President's Suite at Bobcat Stadium. This past Saturday, the Bobcats went across country to take on the Midshipmen of Navy. And first thing I'd like to hear from you is just to talk about that pregame atmosphere at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium.
Well, it's always special to play one of the Armed Forces teams, and the Naval Academy has really done a lot with their stadium and their facilities, and just the entire setting is very humbling for citizens such as ourselves.
The first half, in my impression, from my view, was a real tug of war. Both offenses were able to move the football, and when it came time to shut things down, I thought Navy's defense and the Bobcats defense did a good job of shutting the door.
That's true. They had one drive and got some points out of it. We had a drive and faked the field goal and missed out on that opportunity, but both teams had some opportunities, but the defenses rose up in the red zone pretty well.
One of the storylines going into the game was Marcus Curry and his return to Annapolis, where of course he started his college career. On the day, Marcus ended up with 101 yards of total offense, had 65 yards in the first half. Marcus was just another Bobcat who really looked like he was locked in and ready to play.
I thought our whole team was really excited to play the game and focused and everything, but Marcus, it was certainly a special day for him. He had a lot of friends over on that other sideline that he'd spent some days with, so it was good to see him get to play well.
One of the things I've heard about taking on an option team like Navy is sometimes it takes the defense a little while, a drive or two, to get accustomed to the rhythm and the tempo of the opposing offense, the opposing option. And I thought that was the story for the Bobcat defense, where Navy had success early on, but then you could see our guys really turning it up and playing good assignment football.
Well, I thought we really played well enough to win on defense. You know, and I think you're right. It's hard to duplicate the speed with your scout team, which they're going to play the game in that offense. And once we got a good feel for that, then I think we did a pretty nice job most of the day defending it.
Down 7-0 at halftime, Coach. Real briefly, what was the conversation with the football team in the locker room?
You know, we knew this was going to be a close game, hard-fought game, and it was living up to the billing. You know, we needed to play a little better on the offensive side of the football and hope to get another takeaway or two defensively. You know, we spent a lot of time talking to the defense about just trying to force 3 or 4 bad plays. We had forced 1 in the first half. If we could force another couple 3, then it would give us a good chance at the end to win the football game.
All right, Coach, here are the highlights from the first half in Annapolis.
For the 4th straight week, the Bobcats are facing a bowl team as they take on the Navy Midshipmen. The Bobcats had been preparing for Navy's triple option offense all season, and it showed early with Texas State defenders swarming to the football. One player who looked forward to facing Navy was former midshipman Marcus Curry, who played at the Naval Academy back in 2009 and got involved in the Bobcat offense early and often. Bobcats trailing in the first quarter 7-0. Navy's midseason turnaround has in large part come as a result of the play of quarterback Keenan Reynolds, who had rushed for over 500 yards and 9 touchdowns coming into the game. But the Bobcats held him in check, limiting the freshman to just 13 yards rushing in the first half. Bobcats back on offense after forcing a Navy punt. Quarterback Sean Weatherford feels the pressure and flicks a pass over the middle to Chase Harper, who rumbles ahead for 22 yards. 2 plays later on 2nd and 6, Curry takes a handoff from Rutherford and slams into a wall of Navy defenders after picking up 11 yards and another first down. Now in the second quarter, and the Cats trailing 7-0. Navy with the ball at midfield, and G.G. Green on the option pitch gets leveled by Colby Targan for a loss of 2. 2 plays later, and Navy going for it on 4th and 5 from the Bobcat 42-yard line. Reynolds feeling the rush from Kemu Talelai, throws a pass out to Brandon Turner, who has nowhere to run, losing 3 yards on the play, turning the ball back over to Texas State. First play after the 4th down stop, Rutherford calls his own number and picks up 10 yards and a first down at the Navy 45. Next play on the drive, Rutherford hands the ball off to Tim Gay, an impressive runner averaging nearly 8 yards a carry in his redshirt freshman season. Gay slices right through the Navy defense for 17 yards on the play. However, the Bobcats are unable to score on the drive as we come to halftime from Annapolis with a score Navy 7, Texas State nothing.
Coming up after the break, we sit down with Coach Darnell to talk about the Bobcat offensive line.
First half highlights are brought to you by H-E-B.
Right now, inside every H-E-B, certified meat cutters are working for you. You may not see them, but you'll see their work. All that fresh, 100% pure beef with nothing added but skill and devotion. Others may have guys stocking meat trucked in from who knows where. Is that fresh? No sirree, Bob. This is what a real H-E-B meat cutter looks like at work and at play. No store does more to bring you great beef at low prices than H-E-B.
In the Western Athletic Conference, we play up. It's how we define sportsmanship. And it begins with every player, every coach, and every fan. Because everything we do rises from the foundation of our character. Playing up comes from honesty, dedication, and hard work. Play up is sportsmanship in action, in every game, every day. That's what the Western Athletic Conference is made of. Play up.
Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box puts all your favorites in one epic box so you can build the perfect dinner. The best part, how you fill it is up to you. For a limited time, get 2 medium 1-topping pizzas, 5 breadsticks with marinara, and your choice of wings, Tuscany pasta, or 4 stuffed pizza rollers. All just $19.99. And right now, when you order the Big Dinner Box online, score a free 2-liter Pepsi. Only at your Pizza Hut. Make it great.
How do you show your Bobcat pride? Now you can show it off and keep your money here at Texas State. Because whenever you buy at the University Bookstore at Texas State, that money stays here on campus. Apparel, books, gifts, and much more. Online or in the heart of Bobcat country, find it, get it, and keep it on campus. University Bookstore at Texas State, your bookstore.
An offense will only go as far as the offensive line takes them. Here's a glimpse at how the Bobcats prepare for those battles up front.
You know what I'm saying? As he steps outside, you step outside a little too.
Well, it's been a process this season. Again, it's a unique group. As you know, I've got 2 seniors that play a lot, but one of those seniors, this is his first year in the offensive line after being the defensive line for the rest of his career. And then Thad Watkins is really the only experienced guy there. And then after that, it's a pretty young group with we're actually probably our most experienced player being a sophomore, Charlie Will Tuttle, and then former walk-on that's in there.
When we got here our first year, 2 years ago, there were 4 seniors on scholarship and then just 2 or 3 other guys in the underclass ranks. So it's going to take us a while to get this line built completely the way we want it to, but he's done a great job with getting it to where it is now today.
We went into this season, I think we had 14 offensive linemen that, for example, bench press over 400 pounds. Well, that's a phenomenal number right there. I mentioned Charlie Will Tuttle. He cleans 370 pounds. That's a phenomenal power clean.
I definitely had to get stronger coming in, and new coaching staff has definitely made that a priority. And we've all gotten tremendously stronger, and especially myself, just made huge gains in the weight room.
You know, strength. We probably match up with just about any Division I team in the country. Where we don't match up yet is just in experience and techniques and things like that that we have to continue to develop.
Now, Stefan, you started trying to leave him. That is a double team. I made that clear in a minute. That is a double team driving back. You don't step across until you definitely see the guy move.
Film sessions with Coach Darnell, you know, you hate it because you know that whenever you did a bad play in practice, he's going to sit there and go over and over what you did wrong and point out to, you know, everybody's in there watching you, just shaking your head. But he does a good job of not, you know, embarrassing you too much, but telling you what you did wrong, what you need to fix, and he's a good teacher. His big thing is not cussing on the field or around him, and we've all gotten good about it. You know, we had a defensive lineman come in that moved Jeff Claremont from defensive line to offensive line, and I think Jeff's first day he was doing push-ups the whole day because nobody told him about the rule that we weren't supposed to cuss around Coach Darnell, so he was doing push-ups instead of doing the drills with us because he was cussing.
The biggest transition, I think, between high school and college is probably in the pass protection area. Most of them, even though they've thrown the ball in high school, have never faced the speed and power of the rushers that they face here, and it requires extreme technique to be able to do it. I mean, you've got to have the strength and power, but if your technique's bad, it doesn't make any difference how big or strong or fast you are. And that's usually the weakest area, is just developing that pass protection technique. The second thing I would say is just the sustaining of blocks. The people that have come here have been much better than the people they've been playing. And so they've been able to strike them and they're blocked. And here you've got to strike and keep onto that block for about the next 4 to 5 seconds. And that sustainability is difficult sometimes for them to understand.
Coach Darnell does a great job of treating us right, and everybody loves, you know, to play for him. We love to go to practice, and we've really come together as an offensive line, and we're going to be much stronger. In the weight room, we're much stronger, we're faster, and we like playing with each other, and so I think we're going to do good.
You got to be on the same page with the guard you're working with to make sure you guys are seeing all the same things, whether it's linebackers shifting, safeties walking in the box, a defensive lineman's stance, if he's going to slant or not. You got to be on the same page with your guards to make sure you guys are seeing the same things, because a lot of times you can communicate with each other without having to say anything. Just you can see it before it happens. So if you're on the same page, it really helps out.
Whenever we come to game day, I think that it's definitely a mental deal. Learn to turn on and off a switch that, you know, whenever we're stepping in that uniform, and just turn it on and totally zone into what I've come to do. And I am a pretty easygoing guy. I'm pretty laid back, like to have a good time, but I don't like to be messed with on game day. And something serious, I take it extremely serious, and fighting for my teammates.
Bobcat Profiles is sponsored by Central Texas Medical Center.
Not all ground beef is created equal, and the difference is this guy. The certified meat cutter you'll find at every H-E-B. Grinding the best beef in Texas, fresh in the stores several times every day. Not shipping it in from, well, wherever. It's so fresh, there's a darn good chance your beef left the grinder after you left the house. A miracle? No. To these guys, it's just the daily grind. No store does more to bring you great ground beef at low prices than H-E-B.
Hey, who's that? Oh, that's rough.
When I lived in this apartment, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. I used to watch every game from this exact spot. This exact spot. I didn't know what else to do. This is my lucky seat, man. The team needs me, man.
Bud Light, for the fans who do whatever it takes.
Second half highlights are sponsored by Bud Light. The second half starts with an early Bobcat turnover that leads to a touchdown for Navy, putting Texas State into a 14-0 deficit. The Midshipmen once again have the ball deep in Texas State territory, but the Bobcat defense comes through with a huge stop by harassing quarterback Keenan Reynolds on a pair of plays, and the drive ends with a missed field goal for the Midshipmen. The Bobcat offense still looking to get onto the scoreboard. Sean Rutherford back to throw and throws on a rope to true freshman Brandon Smith, who comes up with a 15-yard catch and a first down. 3 plays later on 3rd and 7, Rutherford fires a pass over the middle to Isaiah Battle, who picks up just enough to keep the drive moving. Now it's 4th and 2 from the Navy 28-yard line. The Bobcats only have 1 4th-down conversion in the second half all season to this point, but Rutherford comes through, finding Chase Harper, who takes a big hit but holds on to the ball to get the first down. That sets up a 36-yard field goal attempt for Will Johnson, and the sophomore kicker drills it for the Bobcats' first points of the game, making it 14-3 Navy. After the Midshipmen answer with a touchdown, the Bobcats trailed 21-3 early in the fourth quarter. Andy Erickson, third of the FBS in punt returns, returns a kickoff back 38 yards. Very first play after the return, Rutherford working off the play action goes deep to Battle. A player who had missed 4 games this season with a quad injury looks plenty healthy here as Battle gallops into the end zone. His second longest reception of the season is good for 62 yards and a touchdown, cutting Navy's lead at 21-10. Ensuing kickoff by the Bobcats. It's a surprise onside kick executed to perfection by Will Johnson. The play catches Navy by surprise, and the Bobcats recover the live ball, taking over just shy of midfield. 2 plays into the drive, Rutherford hooks up with Andy Erickson for 13 yards. It was Erickson's longest catch of the game, and he finished with 3 grabs for 24 yards against Navy. After penalties back the Bobcats up to their own 39, Texas State is faced with 1st and 30. Although the Bobcats get some of the yards back, they end up punting the ball back to Navy, still down 21-10. The defense did its part in keeping Texas State in the game, coming up with big stops like this one from Craig Meagher on a key 3rd down. Rutherford ended up with 290 yards passing against Navy, with 232 yards coming in the second half. Freshman receiver Brandon Smith caught a career-high 6 passes for 85 yards, including this 32-yard grab late in the game. Speaking of career highs, both Colby Target and Jonathan Ward set career highs in tackles on Saturday with 9 and 10 respectively. Joplo Bartu led the Bobcats in tackles for the 3rd straight game, finishing with 16 against the Midshipmen. The Bobcats fought hard but ultimately came up short. The final from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, the Naval Academy 21, Texas State 10.
Coach, there are the highlights from the second half, and the start of the second half didn't exactly go the way the Bobcats, I'm sure, had wanted, had planned. What I took away from the way that third quarter started is the Bobcats didn't waver. There was no blink. The team stayed focused and got right back into the football game.
They did. It was an unfortunate turnover on the opening kickoff of the half that really kind of made it a 14-0 game instead of a 7-0 game and a half. But our guys did a nice job of battling and hanging in there. We got a great stop in the third quarter down inside the 5-yard line that led to a missed field goal. And the offense got a little bit better rhythm going.
You used the word battling a moment ago. Rutherford to battle is a combination that Bobcat fans have fallen in love with, of course, this season. Take us through that 62-yard touchdown pass from Sean to Isaiah.
Play action pass off our stretch zone to the outside, which we had some success running in the game. And Isaiah has an inside vertical route, and then we have a back coming out of the backfield on a wheel, and then a back for a check down. And Sean's first look is to steal a glimpse at Isaiah as he's making the play action fake, which is the advantage of the shotgun. You can actually be doing that. And he wasn't open as much early as usually it's a drive-it throw in between the seam of the zone. And They did a pretty good job on that, but Isaiah's speed paid off, and he ran right past the safety, and Sean stayed with him long enough to see that he was going to run past him, and it was a great throw and catch by the two.
The Bobcats, after the touchdown, 21-10. Onside kicks don't work very often, but that was textbook onside kick by the Bobcats.
Well, we worked hard on that all season, and Navy stations their front line 14 yards deep, so with only 4 of them up on the front line. So we felt like going into the game that it would have a chance to work. And as a head coach, sometimes it takes some moxie just to have enough courage to call that one. But Will had executed it well all week, and he executed it superbly on Saturday night. And what a great job by our kickoff team to recover that.
All right, Coach. Not quite able to come back ultimately against Navy and fall 21-10, a score that doesn't come within a universe of really illustrating how close that game was. So Navy in the rearview mirror. We'll come back in a moment and talk about the Roadrunners. We're going to show you what it's like to run through the tunnel at Bobcat Stadium after the break.
Hey Bobcat fans, like us on Facebook and follow us at TX8 Bobcats on Twitter. Keep up to date, learn new things, and win free stuff.
Innovation, exploration, creative discovery. These are the trademarks of Texas State University. As the state's newest emerging research university, we're transforming your world one mind at a time. Your world, our research. Texas State University, the rising star of Texas.
Welcome to Bud Light Fantasy Football, where every bottle is a player.
My Bud Light threw for 4 TDs.
Draft players using codes on specially marked bottles of Bud Light.
Mine won the game with a 60-yard field goal.
Manage your team at budlight.com/FFL.
My Bud Light fumbled at the 3-yard line.
My Bud Light extended my winning streak.
When Bud Light is on your roster, every game is a win.
My Bud Light made him cry.
Bud Light Fantasy Football. Start building your team today.
Coach Fran, Texas State v. UTSA. This is a game that has been talked about by many people for a long time. Within the Bobcat football program, what's the thought on this week, the Roadrunners?
Well, we look at it as a rivalry game, and rivalry games are so much the fabric and what makes college football as special as it is. And around the nation, a lot of those are going on, USC, UCLA, Auburn, Alabama, on and on and on in these last week or two of college football. And so we're a part of that. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and I think that makes it even more special. I've played on Thanksgiving or coached on Thanksgiving weekend a few times, and I think that adds to the aura of a game like this. And so if you can't get fired up about playing in this one, you should be on this team. I think our players are excited and looking forward to it. I know UTSA's players will be doing the same thing. It'll be a hard-fought game, and rivalry games always are. They're a one-game season. They stand on their own. Whatever the records have been is really somewhat insignificant because this game takes on a life of its own, a personality of its own, and you love to coach in these games, you love to play in these games, but most of all, you love to win these games.
Absolutely. What is the brief scouting report on UTSA offensively, defensively?
You know, they've had a nice solid year. They're a multiple offense, mixed in a little bit of option, throw the ball very well. Their quarterback's done a nice job. Their offensive line's done a nice job. Defensively, they're a 4-2-5 defense similar to ours. Very sound, very solid. play well in all aspects of the game. And they are a team that doesn't beat themselves very much. They're plus 15 in turnover margin for the year, and that's a pretty significant number right there.
What's the message to Bobcat Nation?
Hopefully they'll be in the Alamo Dome on Saturday afternoon with us at 1 o'clock and help paint the Alamo Dome a little bit maroon and gold for the game. All
right, Coach. We'll see you Saturday, 1 p.m. down at the Alamo Dome. Good luck against the Roadrunners.
Thank you.
What's it like running through the tunnel before the game? Well, we're going to show you.
Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box puts all your favorites in one epic box so you can build the perfect dinner. The best part, how you fill it is up to you. For a limited time, get 2 medium 1-topping pizzas, 5 breadsticks with marinara, and your choice of wings, Tuscany pasta, or 4 stuffed pizza rollers. All just $19.99. And right now, when you order the Big Dinner Box online, score a free 2-liter Pepsi. Only at your Pizza Hut. Make it great.
How do you show your Bobcat pride? Now you can show it off and keep your money here at Texas State, because whenever you buy at the University Bookstore at Texas State, that money stays here on campus. Apparel, books, gifts, and much more. Online or in the heart of Bobcat country, find it, get it, and keep it on campus. University Bookstore at Texas State, your bookstore.
Brant Freeman joins us here in the President's Suite at Bobcat Stadium. And Brant, what a 4-week stretch it was for the Bobcats. 4 bowl teams with a combined record of 34-10, 9,200 miles in airplanes. And the Bobcats cap it off with a tough Navy Midshipmen football team.
They do, Bill. A 21-10 setback to Navy, a game the Bobcats were very much in for all 4 quarters. But just too many mistakes in the football game. Untimely penalties. The Bobcats didn't have a lot of them in the game, but the ones they did have came at, again, at inopportune times, and too many drop passes by the receivers. But one thing I thought the Bobcats did especially well against the Midshipmen was defending their option.
Certainly Navy in the first half, they had some success in running their option, but there in the second half you saw the Bobcats make some adjustments, take away the fullback Copeland for the most part, and what a day. Joplo Bartu back-to-back weeks with 16 tackles. Jonathan Ward, 10 tackles. Colby Targan, 9 tackles.
By the way, the 21 points scored by Navy, the fewest they'd had in 7 games. Well, up next is UTSA, and hopefully to start build to a rivalry with the Roadrunners. And Coach Fran talked about it with you earlier in the broadcast, that rivalry games are what makes college football special. He gave you a couple of examples, and you know, this rivalry with UTSA, it's the first football game, but it's one that goes back to the hardwood.
It sure does, and not just basketball. I've been at Strand Coliseum in the Convocation Center, and you can just sense, you can just feel it in those buildings that when it's the Bobcats and the Roadrunners, the fans, their passion is elevated. They're a lot more vocal for sure, but it really goes across all the sports. It doesn't matter, baseball, softball, volleyball.
Looking at UTSA, the Roadrunners are 7-4. They're coming off a road win over Idaho this past Saturday. Looking at the team personnel-wise, Eric Sosa, the quarterback, comes to mind. David Glasgow, Evans Okacha, the couple of the running backs for UTSA's offense. Defensively, they've given up quite a few points this year. What are your thoughts from looking at the Roadrunner team?
If the Bobcats can execute the way they did against Louisiana Tech on the offensive side of the ball, bottle some of that defense that the Cats displayed against Navy, I think it's going to be a maroon and gold kind of Saturday.
Well, the Bobcats are going to eat some turkey on Thursday and hope to eat some more bird on Saturday against UTSA. That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to everybody on Inside Bobcat Football. I'm Brant Freeman, reminding you that united we fan.
Inside Bobcat Football is sponsored by HEB, Bud Light, and Central Texas Medical Center.